We are getting more reaction to the death of NFL Hall of Famer, Hollywood actor, and civil rights champion Jim Brown. The 87-year-old died peacefully in his Los Angeles home Thursday night, according to his wife. NFL Commissioner Roger Goodell called Brown a cultural figure who helped promote change. CBS Sports' James Brown takes a look back at his life and legacy.
James Nathaniel Brown, better known as Jim, was born in St. Simons, Georgia in 1936, the son of a boxer and a housekeeper. Brown went on to attend Syracuse University, where he was a multi-sport phenom. He lettered in football, basketball, track, and lacrosse, in which he was named first-team All-America as a senior. But it was in football that Brown stood out. As a senior, he ran for 986 yards in just 8 games. He capped his college career in a Cotton Bowl loss to TCU, in which he totaled 132 yards rushing and 3 touchdowns and kicked 3 extra points. He was drafted 6th overall in the 1957 NFL draft by the Cleveland Browns and put together one of the most legendary careers in NFL history. In just 9 seasons, he led the NFL in rushing 8 times while also carrying the Browns to the 1964 NFL championship. The franchise hasn't won a title since. When Brown walked away from the game in 1965, he held the league records for most rushes, yards, and touchdowns, marks that stood for more than a decade after his exit. Brown walked off the field and into Hollywood, retiring while on the set of The Dirty Dozen.
After much deliberation, I've come to the conclusion that I will retire from professional football this season. My original intention was to try and participate in the 1966 National Football League season, but due to circumstances, this is impossible.
Thus began an acting career with more than 50 credits. Brown was outspoken on civil rights and race and became a leader in the effort to end inner-city gang violence. While trying to dedicate his life to keeping young black men out of prison, Brown was often in trouble with the law himself. He was arrested numerous times on charges of violence against women from the late 1960s to the late 1990s. Jim Brown will be remembered as a complicated man who lived as full a life as any who ever stepped onto the NFL field. From Syracuse to Cleveland and Hollywood, Jim Brown became a towering American figure.
Sports figures and other luminaries are reacting to Jim Brown's death this morning. Emmitt Smith, the NFL's all-time leading rusher, wrote, quote, "He is and was a true legend in sports and in the community, using his platform to help others." And former President Barack Obama posted, "I was too young to remember Jim Brown's playing days, but I knew his legacy. One of the greatest football players ever, he was also an actor, an activist, speaking out on civil rights and pushing other black athletes to do the same." And remember, he retired football career-wise after just 9 seasons. After his last season was his best one, most rushing yards, so could have easily continued, but said, "No, I'm done." After a little bit of a dispute with the owner.
Yeah, and left before the Super Bowl became, was ushered into the playing days, so missed that opportunity altogether.
His greatness, though, even away from the game, and the legacy that continued on through athletes. LeBron James, there's this great video and moment that people may remember where LeBron on the court just had to bow down to him. Athletes of today knowing what he did away from the game and the voice that he used in civil rights and in trying to remind athletes that they could use their voice was so important.
As JB pointed out, a complicated figure.
Without a doubt.
Very complicated.
but a monumental one.
Yeah, there is no doubt.